Dear students, in the previous class we are discussing about addition of poles to the root locus, effect of addition of poles to the root locus. See here, in the previous class we had given a note that as omega d increases, time domain specifications decreases. This the response decreases, data value decreases as omega d increases. The root locus branch shift towards the imaginary axis. The system relative stability decreases. The system becomes more oscillatory. The range of k values for system stability decreases. The damping factor zeta decreases. As zeta decreases, the frequency of oscillations increases. Hence the time domain specifications, that is delay time, rise time, peak time, should be decreased. As zeta decreases, the bandwidth increases. You know the relationship between zeta and bandwidth. As roots shift towards the right hand side of the plane, the settling time increases because the time constant increases. As zeta decreases, the percentage of peak overshoot increases, which shows the system becomes unstable. Now we have seen the addition of poles to the root locus. The next one is if you add zeros to the root locus, what happens to the root locus? Now let us consider g of s h of s equal to k divided by s into s minus 2. Yes, one pole is present. One pole is present at origin. One more pole is present at 2. One more pole is present at 2. This is not a minus 2, it is 2. And if you add one 0 in the left half of this plane, that is s equal to minus 1. Here if you are going, that is s equal to minus 1. Here we have added one 0. If you add one 0, what happens? If you add one 0 at s equal to minus 1, now for this s equal to minus 1, if you add it, then you will be getting it as second order, that is zeta value. Zeta is equal to 0, you will be getting it as like this. Zeta is greater than 0, so damped response will be there. On this side zeta will be negative. So the root locus branch shift towards the left half of this plane. Zeta equal to 0, it is a undamped oscillations. Zeta equal to negative, it is a damped, it is over-damped oscillation. Over-damped will be getting. When zeta is greater than 0, damped response will be getting. When zeta equal to 1, you will be getting it as this. The system relative stability improves. The system becomes less oscillatory. The range of k value, the stability improved. Damping factor zeta increases. Hence, the frequency of oscillations decreases, so that the time domain specifications increases, that is rise time, delay time, peak time increases. As poles moves towards the LHS, the settling time decreases. As zeta increases, peak overshoot decreases, hence the system becomes more stable. In case 0 is added near to the imaginary axis, then the transient performance is improved, similar to the addition of poles. This is the effect of addition of poles and zeros to the root locus. The next topic is root contour. The main difference between root locus and root counter is the root counter is nothing but root locus diagram by varying many unknown parameters. The root locus will be having only one parameter, and the root counter will be having more than one unknown parameter. If you are going to vary those more than one unknown parameter, then it is called root counter. Now here, draw the root counter for the given characteristic equation s square plus as plus k equal to 0. Here in this equation we are having two unknowns, that is a and k. Note, root counter are drawn when the system transfer function or characteristic equation consists more than one unknown parameter. You need to keep in mind that this note. The solution for this problem, 1 plus k divided by s square plus js equal to 0. We have written it as 1 plus g of s into h of s form. Case 1, k as a system gain. If you consider k as a system gain, a is a constant. So g of s equal to k divided by s into s plus a. This can be rewritten as like this. Now, in this case, how many poles and how many zeros are there? 2 poles and there are no zeros. Where are the poles are present? One pole is present at origin, one more pole is present at minus a. Always the root locus or root counter has to start from pole and has to end at 0. So we will be having here one breakaway point. A equal to 0, k equal to 0, the system is stable. Now, let us consider A as a system gain, k as a constant. In that case, we can write it as as divided by s square plus k. Now we have considered A as system gain, 1 plus g of s into h of s. So, in this case, how many poles and how many zeros are there? There are 2 poles. Those 2 poles are imaginary poles. The 2 poles are lying at plus j under root k minus j under root k. When this system is said to be stable, when a is greater than 0 and k is greater than 0, the system is said to be stable. Always keep in mind that difference between root locus and root counter is the root locus will be having only one variable, and whereas in the root counter will be having 2 unknown variables. The next one is inverse root locus. Inverse root locus is nothing but there are some differences between direct root locus and inverse root locus. Only some differences will be, only few difference. The remaining concept is everything is same. The difference is in the direct root locus, we will be finding the angle of asymptotes as like this. We will be taking it as 2q plus 1 into 180 degrees, whereas for inverse root locus, 2q into 180 degrees. For even numbers means we will be taking it as 2q. For odd numbers means 2q plus 1. That is the only difference for the direct root locus and inverse root locus. Now let me draw the inverse root locus for this problem. This is the problem, and this can be written as like this. Then whenever k is varied from minus infinite to 0, then we need to go for inverse root locus. Here the k is, that means in the root locus, the k value will be varied from 0 to infinity, whereas inverse root locus, the k value will be varied from minus infinite to 0. This is the main difference. See here, how many poles are there? One pole is present at origin, one more pole is present at -1, and 1 0 is present at here. Now, are there any zeros here? Yeah, 1 0 is present at here and at this point. Always the root locus has to start from pole and has to end at 0. Two poles are there, 1 0 is there. One pole will be ending at 1 0. One more pole will be ending at somewhere, we'll be assuming somewhere 0 is present at infinity. This one pole will be ended at infinity. So this is the inverse root locus. The main difference is for the direct root locus and inverse root locus is the direct root locus, the k is varied from 0 to infinity, and inverse root locus, the k is varied from minus infinite to 0. And one more, while we are finding this, we'll be considering it as only odd number for the direct root locus, and the inverse root locus will be even number. Even number means 2q into 180 degrees, and for odd number means 2q plus 1 into 180 degrees. This is about the root locus. Still, if you are having any doubt, we have solved many problems in the class. Still, if you are feeling difficult to solve any problem regarding root locus, please let me know. Thank you.